Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doom Tomb podcast. My name is Chris. I am your host, and today on the podcast, on location at Yucca Tap Room in Tempe, Arizona, we have the Devil himself. The Devil himself is a band that's the down-tempo deathcore style from South Texas, Beeville, Texas, to be exact. And they have a new album out called In the Name of God. If you haven't checked it out yet, go ahead, go over to Bandcamp. I'll have a link in the notes, and you can see for yourself. They put on a killer show. They have a ton of energy, and we learn quite a bit in this interview. We learn about some irrational fears that they might have, and we learn about Jayrad's not-so-secret crush. So, I don't know. It's out there now, Jayrad, so you can't stop now. All right, I think that's enough talking for today. Let's get into the interview from Yucca Tap Room with the Devil himself. I am at the Yucca Tap Room right now with band members from the Devil himself, and I have everybody here. So could you please all introduce yourselves?
I'm Jayrad, the vocalist of the Devil himself.
I'm Eric, the bassist of the Devil himself.
Steve, the drummer.
Owen here, the guitarist. I'm Brandon, the other guitarist, a.k.a. HLB.
And while you have the mic, where are you guys located out of?
All the guys are from Corpus Christi, Texas, and I'm from Beeville, Texas.
Now, let me ask you, I know Texas was going through a bunch of drama recently with all the flooding and et cetera. How did that affect you as a whole?
Well, Beeville-wise, it tore everything up. Rockport got the worst of it. I don't know, was Corpus? Yeah, Rockport doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
But, yeah, heavy flooding. There's actually still people there in the hotels that don't have a house.
Whoa.
Still. Like, it's been months, but there's still, like, people in there. How did it affect Corpus?
In Corpus, in the main of Corpus, not really too much. As far as like the outskirts, like Rockport, the island, stuff like that, got really flooded out. Port A, a lot of people's houses got torn down to bits, like a tornado hit it. There's not really shit there. A lot of people are real homeless and living in, I guess, hotels right now.
So you guys are doing okay? All right. Now, because I'm sure the scene where you're at is pretty happening. Mm-hmm. How did that affect some maybe friends that have been in some bands? Did they go through some drama or?
Talking about the Stormwise?
Yeah.
Stormwise through our friends' bands, everybody's trying to pull together, basically hold it down together. I know Beeville, they had that benefit show also for the animals that we went and did to help them out, and then also Corpus had their own benefit show out there at Boozers to help out with the hurricane relief.
Right.
So really all around, it's kind of, to me, it's surprising. Everybody's just sprouted up out of nowhere and done whatever, whenever, and everything they can to help each other out. As it doesn't even seem like it's just to get money. It's really actually everybody just jumped up and helped each other out.
They came together for the greater good.
Exactly.
You know, they see that other people are in need, other brothers and sisters are in need, and they need some assistance.
That's really how it goes down in Texas.
All right. So how would you describe your sound?
Well, our first EP, the Revelations EP, it was 2014, so a lot of down-tempo bands were coming up, and I really liked that sound, so I just went through with it. It's real slow, doom metal influenced, down-tuned guitars.
Right.
Our newer sound, we switched more faster pace, and we tuned a little up. More death metal, deathcore sounding.
Right. I heard that. I have a lot of questions on from Revelations. So with Revelations, can you tell me how that project came about and some of the influences for the songs?
Well, damn, that's like 4 years ago. The EP is almost 4 years old now, but
right.
I started the band by myself, a solo artist, just to, I've always liked music. I've always wanted to start something, but it's so hard to start a band in South Texas and to keep everyone together.
Right. Is the scene for your style of music available there, or is it more of a country vibe, or?
It's mixed. It's definitely mixed. Not the sound that we're going for. It's like most heavier bands are up north, I guess.
Right.
So, So yeah, when I wrote that EP, I just started popping out songs, going to the studio by myself, tracking the instruments and the vocals on my own.
Yeah.
And
And where are you getting the samples from?
the samples, they were all just different ideas that I had like envisioned in my head. And let me see, the Revelations samples, it was a bunch of, I got ideas from religious documentaries.
Right.
So I put some of that in there, and some Richard Ramirez interviews.
Yeah.
Threw that in there too. Sounds pretty edgy, but there's something else. Hellraiser, the horror movie Hellraiser.
Right.
Like, do I look like someone who cares what God thinks? And that was an idea from a guitarist who's not in the band anymore. So he wanted to throw that in there. So I was like, okay.
Are you all big fans of horror or other
Yes.
genres? All right, so if you can all go around and give me a top horror film.
Halloween's always been my favorite.
The original?
The original, and I like the Rob Zombie remake. I get a lot of hate for that, but I like the remake as well.
Okay.
My favorite, I've always been real big on like old slashers,
Right?
but if I had to choose, it'd probably be like the very old Dracula, the werewolf, you know,
You mean the black and white versions?
yeah, the black and white versions was always, since I was a kid, my favorites.
Like the Nosferatu.
Exactly. And when I got older, a lot of the slasher films were my favorite, and then even as far as a little bit gorier with, you know, ABCs of Death, kind of
Right.
stuff like Faces of Death too, like stuff like that was real influence to me with horror.
Do you prefer more gore or more horror?
I like to mix it all around, man.
Right?
It's real good. It's real exciting to see. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that's probably like banned in certain countries and.
Are we
shit.
talking something like a Serbian film, or are we going that
Faces
deep?
of
or-
Death. All together, I don't know. Anything with, I don't know, death, horror in general, it's just all one to me. Yeah.
a touch, just a touch.
Just a little touch. I like a little taste of all of it, man.
Right. Okay. Like the Hostel series, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
There you go.
When I was a kid, I always watched Nightmare on Elm Street, all
Yeah.
of them, Friday the 13th movies.
You know,
that
it's
stuff.
weird. He started, you think about it, he started out being in the dreams, and then all of a sudden I feel like he got a little cartoony over time.
Right.
And it's like it kind of took it away. And like, there was even a cartoon about him.
Like less serious, but I still like the gore and the blood. Like when he
Yeah.
would take down his victims either way, he didn't hold back.
Yeah.
He didn't hold back. That's what I liked about it, because he was like some comical character that was really fucking sinister. Just crazy as fuck. Like something you don't want to run into, but he was also like some guy you'd probably see hanging out with if he wasn't, I guess, slashing up your next door neighbor or some shit.
Yeah, and if he wasn't burnt up and all that, yeah, the face might have a little bit of an issue. So what's your horror movie?
See, you already stole mine away when you said Hostel on there.
Okay.
I'm an old fan of Freddy and Jason movies. Those are always like been the classic thing that I've always been put on to.
Right.
When I first started watching that stuff. At first, honestly, I didn't like it. Then, like, once I started, like, really watching the old ones and moving forward, I started to like it more. And like you said, with fucking Freddy being all jokey and stuff, that's what actually got me into him. Because he
Right.
was like this crazy ass, almost like the Joker, a burned up motherfucking Joker. Sorry saying that on there, but it was like a burned up Joker coming up and killing everybody in their sleep. I just thought that was crazy. Didn't make me want to sleep though.
And how about yourself?
People who really know me know I don't really watch that many movies. I don't know why, but growing up, I really like Jeepers Creepers. That shit scared the shit out of me when I was little.
Jeepers Creepers. That's a good pull.
That one, and
I like that a lot.
you ever seen The Strangers?
Oh, we were just talking about that on another podcast.
Oh, yeah?
I swear, like a couple hours ago.
Hell yeah.
And just that idea. Now, I don't know if I quoted it right, but at the end, spoiler alert, at the end when they said something like to the effect of, it gets easier every time, man. It gets easier every time. And I'm wrong. I think I might be wrong in the quote, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Uh-huh.
That scared the hell out of me.
Right.
Oh my gosh! And it wasn't completely horror, but it was just that
terror, dude.
unbelievable suspense.
Yeah, that. Fuck yeah. I
So-
don't know. I dig that feeling, you know?
So with that whole horror vibe, how does that blend over into the music? Does that add something? Are you looking? Does it inspire you to write?
Yeah, we're a very theatrical band, music-wise and like appearance-wise when we're on stage.
Right.
We didn't really get a chance to like show off like tonight, but
Well, you're thrashing around like motherfuckers. To tell you
yeah,
what.
yeah. We had a great show tonight, but normally like around our like local shows, we incorporate fake blood. We usually paint ourselves with black paint.
Right.
I wear like an eye contact, like Marilyn Manson type stuff. And,
Sure. You bring the
horror.
You bring the horror. How important do you think that stage presence is to a show?
It's very important because once they see you giving your all, then they start, they see that, and then they start getting more energy, and then we feed off their energy. So it makes us feel better about ourselves, and it makes us perform better when we see the crowd likes it.
Right.
So,
while you you guys don't have the makeup on. When you put it all on, what does it do to you? Does it actually change you? The reason I ask is like you see interviews with like Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons of Kiss, and they're like, I'm a regular old guy, but once I put that makeup on, I turn into the demon. I change, my character fully changes. Do you feel that?
Yeah, definitely. For me, at least, when I perform without it, it feels weird. Like I'm not like giving like my full like performance.
Right.
But yeah, definitely. Whenever I like suit up and everything and paint up, I just like turn into like a different person, and it helps me on stage perform better because I'm like that person in my head. I guess it comes out, and yeah, we're just influenced by a lot of like we like Rob Zombie, we like Motionless in White, Marilyn Manson, just stuff like that.
Right.
Alice Cooper. So we do the whole paint.
Oh, awesome. Now, speaking of that, as far as a genre, or it doesn't have to be horror, but if it is, what type of movie genre would you like to have yourselves in a soundtrack for?
Definitely horror and action. I could see us doing some horror and some action.
Okay. You want to go?
Children's movies. No.
Like the next Stuart Little movie or something like that?
The next Incredibles movie.
So, how long is this tour going on for?
Tomorrow's our last day, unfortunately, but we're excited about it because it's Gardena. Am I saying that right? I don't know, but California. It's 20 minutes away from Los Angeles, so
right.
We're excited to be in California. We've never been there before. Well, Randy's been there before.
I'm from California.
Anyone else been to California?
Are you going to spend some time and chill out? Are you going to spend New Year's there? Or?
Yeah, we have to come back to our boring lives and
Go back to our jobs.
yeah, back to Texas.
So now that's the end of 2017. So what do you have in store for 2018?
Music videos. We had one that we shot in November. We're almost done paying it off. It's almost done editing. It's gonna be a new song off the album, our new album called Fatalism.
Mm-hmm.
So that will definitely be out sometime in January.
As far as with our new album, In the Name of God, compared to Revelations EP, how Jayrad said, he wrote everything, he did everything by himself. As far as with the new album, we actually had our inputs. You know what I mean? He actually came to us and said, hey, I have this new song.
Right.
How do y'all feel about this?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd go from there and see what we'd want to do, write our stuff, write our shit for it, what tunings we're in, how we're going to do it, and just pretty much go from there. The studio, we all meet up and see what we can go from there. You know what I mean? Do our thing. Everybody gets at one. Sometimes other members can't make it, but it is what it is. We all it's business.
Now, for the new music, is this more of a collective endeavor, or do you each have an input as to the music and lyrics, or is it more?
I wouldn't say the lyrics, because all the lyrics and the ideas is pretty much Jayrad. But as far as with what we're writing and performing and doing live instrumentally, we all have our inputs on the new album.
Right. Now, which comes first usually, the music or the lyrics?
Like I said, a lot of times Jayrad will come up with the lyrics and the idea of the song with the track, play us like a rough draft, and we go from there and write, okay, we have this guitar riff, we have this, and then we're just going to do our parts like that, pretty much.
And then how do you figure out what samples you want to use? Is there a course for that, or is it just like you just go off feel, or?
Yeah, sometimes most of the time it's a lot of the feeling, like including the songs. Sometimes it'll be the lyrics that come first, sometimes it'll be the song that comes first, and sometimes the songs tell you what sample to use. And not all of our songs have samples.
Yeah, true.
Our new album has a couple samples as well, but sometimes it just like it comes to the song. Like it's weird. It's hard to explain. Sometimes I could hear like a whole new song in my head and I just track it out. And that's how our writing process is. I write like most of the stuff, the structure, and Brandon writes all the solos, the guitar solos, and then Eric tracks his bass in the studio, and Randy, and then that's how we all do it.
So how did you initially get started? What was the idea to start the band? Were you in other bands before and just kind of got to be a conglomerate, or did you how'd it work?
Yeah, we all had different bands, but I started by myself, and I was like, I found these guys along the way.
Right.
I knew Brandon like forever. He was doing his own thing. I was just tired of being in failed band after failed band, so I started writing like my own stuff. And then, like back in the day, I met Eric at like the bars and stuff.
Okay.
And then so everyone just came around and met each other.
It's really an awesome thing to just have such a group of people that you feel cohesive with and you know aren't going to bail.
Mm-hmm. Really, everybody in this band, I'm going to say it for myself, everybody puts their fucking all into it when it comes to money, sweat, and motherfucking tears. Because I know we cry about some goddamn shit that we want to get done, but we can't.
Right.
At the moment.
Right.
But 2018, like I said, Devil's coming swinging. we ain't holding back for this year. We're trying to come out hard.
Now, I asked another band this recently because we're in the holiday season. Is there ever a chance that you're going to cover a holiday song?
That's a chance. We're gonna leave that one to y'all's mind. That's a chance. We have some ideas at the moment.
Okay. All right. So is that a surprise for late 2018?
A surprise, maybe. It's in the works.
Oh,
I'll just say that.
That is awesome. So, are you after you create the music? Are you going to head out on tour again in 2018?
We're gonna try to do something maybe in the summer if we could all get the days off that we need from our jobs.
Yeah.
Because we can only get so many days off.
Sure.
But definitely something in the summer because we're touring this winter, and last year we toured last winter.
Right.
So we want to definitely do something like summer, something in the heat.
There you go.
Die.
And don't mind the. What can anybody have an idea what that is in the background?
That's Hurricane Chris. Dude, I haven't heard that song since like middle school.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to take a quick break in the interview to talk about something that Ripple Music is doing regarding the recent murder of Reverend Jim Forrester. It is a terrible loss in the community, in the scene, and even more importantly for his family. This is the newest Foghound song, and it was tracked with Frank Marchand while working on the new full-length album. All of the proceeds of the download of this song, which is called Keep On Shoveling, will go directly to benefit the family. And if you go to Bandcamp, you'll read this, and I'm just going to read it to you in case you haven't gotten there yet. About this track, Chuck Dukart III, Reverend's good friend and bandmate in Foghound, had this to say. It's funny because I actually wrote the lyrics to this song about perseverance in the face of adversity, specifically with him in mind after his first big health scare. But it's kind of a universal truth. So please go over to Bandcamp, support them, and just like I know the community that you are, just keep them in your thoughts and keep the family in their thoughts. Thanks, and here is Keep On Shoveling. All right, the music is passed, so let's see what we got here. So, what are your guys' main influences right now, or even more so, what's on your current playlist right now? What are you listening to?
My current playlist, I listen to everything. Honestly, I hardly listen to metal anymore. But,
Right.
I still love it. It's my first love. But I've listened to a lot of like country recently and some just weird.
Do
stuff.
you draw from that for your next song? Like, do you get an influence?
Not anything from excuse me, not anything from the devil himself, but I listen to all genres. So
Right.
metal will always be my favorite.
And how
I
about
don't-
yourself?
I've never been really too picky with genres. I listen to everything pretty much. A lot of the shit that I grew up with was 80s ballads, older shit, even beyond that. That's always been my heart right there.
80s ballads?
Yeah.
Like power ballads?
Like Scorpions, fucking.
Oh, Someone Like You?
Queen's Right.
Or No One Like You? I'm sorry.
Yeah, shit like that. And
Okay.
That's always been my thing, even till now. Skid Row, older shit.
I Remember You and...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Quiet Riot was a real influence with me. Like, it's a lot of shit that I like.
Wow, you're really in the 80s.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's all I grew up with, man. Like I said, I'm not picky with any genre. I'm open to a lot of shit. Like, if I was to play my playlist, it would be some random shit. You wouldn't be surprised that you heard it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's pretty much it for me, man.
Me, I listen to a lot of the older stuff, like classic rock, like Zeppelin and Rush, King Crimson.
Right.
As a drummer, you got to listen to all the foundation type.
A lot of those
bands. Yeah,
deep in the pocket.
definitely
bands.
I also like thrash metal, like Pantera, of course.
Yeah.
Sepultura.
Did you hear
Slayer.
the previous band? They did a Sepultura
Oh, yeah.
cover?
Yeah, that was good.
And a
That was
Venom
really
cover,
nice.
too.
I'm into the new metal thing also. Not too much, but Deftones. I like,
Right. Waiting for
Slipknot.
another Limp Bizkit, maybe?
No.
whenever that rears its ugly head. And yourself?
Honestly, me, I come from classic rock, to be honest. My very fucking first band was called Frat House.
Right.
We got that name because the guitarist's mom came home one day while we were jamming and threw a fucking fit because we had a party going downstairs and our band practice was going upstairs. So she comes in like straight, just kicked in the door, her and her son just come in and just start blasting everybody there. It's not a fucking frat house, this and that, and just starts throwing. I'm like, you know what? That's a good band name.
That ain't bad.
Used to do like covers like Lynyrd Skynyrd, fucking AC/DC, Metallica covers. Fucking, we do anything, any and everything. Then basically from the point, really, I played bass at that time. I didn't really learn guitar to play metal. I actually, at the time, I wanted to be a ska guitarist. But
Really?
blues chords hurt the fuck out of my hand.
Right.
They hurt everybody's hand. They're fucking retarded. After that, in fact, I just started getting into metal, and I didn't really hold myself to a genre because I was already listening to rap, I listened to pop, I listened to punk, I listened to ska. I don't really hold the balance on where I get it from.
There you go.
It's really just, when it comes to me writing a riff or something, it's more of how I feel. If I'm pissed off, you're probably going to hear a technical-ass riff that's really fast, sounds pretty thrashy.
Right.
If I'm probably sad, you might come out with a soulful rock song. It just doesn't know. It just really comes from in there.
It's
You
what
can't
you-
really
just what
see
your
it over
vibe
the
is,
mic,
what
but
your
you know
heart's
what I
feeling.
mean. It's whatever I'm feeling.
I agree with Randy on all that. Me, they know I'm a shredder. I shred on guitar. I grew up with a shitload of Megadeth, Metallica, thrash. I love thrash, Anthrax, Pantera stuff, all that, man.
How do you feel about the new the reissue of Killing Is My Business coming out? They're gonna do a
didn't even know that
remaster.
was coming out.
A
Oh,
remaster
shit.
version. That should be nice because I listened to that since I was a kid and I loved it for what it was, but it could have been so much heavier and so much more power to it, and I hope that it does it a service.
Some justice, huh?
when it comes out. So how did you guys come up with the band name?
All right, this is funny. When I created that project, like I was thinking for about a week. I was like, man, what should the name be? And basically, I'm doing this all by myself, like something that I went to a party, and they Are you familiar with Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I've never played it before, but they're like, let's play. The first card I drew was the devil himself, and I was like, hey, that's good.
Perfect.
So they went with it, stuck with it ever since.
That's awesome. Oh, no, that was really easy. So, what other? Let me put it to you this way. So, do you have like a guilty pleasure? I asked somebody else this on the previous podcast. Is there? Again, I hate using the word, but I don't know how else to describe it. Like, is there guilty pleasure music that you listen to?
Melanie Martinez. I love her so much. Like, I would marry her. And like no one would ever think a death metal dude like me would, because she's like, if you're listening, Melanie Martinez, marry me. But she's like the most like poppiest artist out there right now.
Right.
But she's so dark. Like that girl has like demons like in her music. And
all right, we're
like,
gonna have to tag
me.
her to make sure she hears this.
Yes.
You know, you never know. You might have a future girlfriend.
Guilty pleasures. That's kind of hard because that could vary between a lot of things. As far as with the girl music like that,
right?
I do dig some shit like that, but it's like Courtney Love kind of shit, Joan Jett, fucking girl metal like
right.
that. You know what I mean? So it's to see a girl shred and yell at the top of her lungs and get a fucking heavy ass crowd. And I'm just like, fuck, dude, like marry me. What?
Baby metal.
Baby metal. The fuck is baby metal?
The band Baby Metal?
Jamming earlier, the one with the Japanese girls.
Oh, okay. So Randy was jamming some Japanese fucking. The instrumentals were fucking heavy, like fucking killing it.
Right.
But the vocals was like, it sounded like hentai. So imagine hentai with some heavy ass music, and that's what we were jamming earlier. That's not my guilty pleasure, but I mean that's what we were.
All right.
playing
All right. So somebody was playing it. So whose was it?
The hentai music was Randall. Randall.
That was Randall.
That stuff does not sound like hentai. Baby Mello, you listen, I love your shit though. That is, I guess, my guilty pleasure because I know every time I put on their music, y'all are just sunk in your shit like, what is this nigga listening to? Like, pretty much, I guess everything ends up being a guilty pleasure for me because if you see me in public jamming my shit, I usually, like, I listen to rap and everything else, but mainly, if you look at my Spotify, it's nothing but metal. It's like literally... Right. Mostly just death fucking brutal ass metal. Like it's really just all of that. There's some hints of everything else I said that I come up with on the side and stuff.
Right.
But if you press shuffle, you're gonna hear metal for hours before you hear a rap song.
All right, give me a few. Who's on your list?
The Black Dahlia. This thing over here. Oh my God. The Black Dahlia Murder, Awaken Providence, Suicide Silence.
What do you think of Suicide's latest release?
Suicide's latest. Hey. Honestly, Ricky, you're probably not even listening to this, but their vocalist, Ricky Amarillo, I loved him when he was in fucking All Shall Perish. All Shall Perish was the fucking sickest band ever. Then he left and went to Suicide Silence. I don't think he should have went there. His vocals sound sick in that, but my lord, yeah, Gag Bound and Shelved and Forgotten, fucking Royalty and Exile, Awaken the Dreamers, like, bruh, go back, yeah? Go back, please. That shit was tight. Like, really, honestly. Their new stuff, I can jam it, but I'm not in love with it like when Mitch Lucker was around. Nobody has a voice like he does. He's a fucking demon.
Right.
He was a demon. That nigga was walking among us, man. He's a shit.
And yourself?
I mean, I really can't think of one right now, but very little known fact, I'm actually a pretty big No Doubt fan.
All right.
My mom's all about that. I mean, I grew up with it, so I mean, I'm just a girl.
Whatever. You got something? Go ahead.
Madonna.
And then just handed the mic off. That was it. That was it.
When I was a kid, Madonna was...
Right? And what was your lover again? What was her name?
Melanie Martinez.
Okay. And one more time, just to the
Melanie Martinez. That's baby as fuck.
Okay.
Future wife.
I could see a certain twinkle, a certain sparkle in your eyes when you're talking about her.
The light of my life. That's the only reason I get up and do this death metal shit.
All right, guys. Well, listen, I appreciate having you. I appreciate you taking the time. We're outside at night, and I know you got a long drive to your next gig. please tell me, how can people contact you and buy your stuff?
You could check us out on Facebook, The Devil Himself Texas, the TX. You could check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube. Everything's on there.
Anywhere you can find music, we there.
You're there.
We're there. Wherever you can find music, we're there.
Yeah, you could find Randy anywhere too.
So, guys, again, thank you so much. I thank you for your time. I wish you much success in 2018.
It's a pleasure.
Safe journey, and have a happy new year.
It's been real, it's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun until the next time you see us.
Dude. You have something to say to finish it out? This seems like the guy that has something to say to finish everything out.
Randy's a social one. Randy's a social one.
Randy's a social guy. He's.
It was a good podcast until they let Randall end it off.
All right, then.
Thank you, man.
I think we'll cut it there. Have a great night, guys. Much success. All right, that was the interview with the devil himself. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know, but you might be able to hear my dog in the background chewing on his bone. And yeah, he's really digging on it, and he's not stopping. So I'm just going to go through this and get to the rest of it here. I just want to give a quick thanks to the hundreds of people that have downloaded the podcast and all the new subscribers. I sincerely thank each and every one of you. A lot of overseas subscribers, so that is just showing how big the community is. So the album that the devil himself has is In the Name of God, and I just want to play a track off of that right now. This is one of my favorite tracks on the album, and it is called Devil's Eyes, featuring Brian Long. And in the background, you can still hear him chewing on his bone. And we will. I can't.
I want to know why it is that all of you seem to have satanic signs all over you, and what is it that does this music cause you to do what you do?
Mustang one time, and it was, well, you know, we can jerk each other off all day, or we can smoke this joint.